first we need two sequencers. As first sequencer I'm using the make noise René in snake mode and only utilizing the first two rows to get an 8-step sequencer. Then you need of course a second sequencer. I use the Penta from Rio because it's handy that you can switch between 3, 5 and 4 steps. We need of course some clocking. I have Pamela's new workout, but you can use a simple clocking source like an LFO, but then you need some kind of dividers or multipliers to get more out of the patch. You need some oscillator. I have the twin waves from Clavis because it's simple and has an inbuilt quantizer. This is the next. If you want to get some melodies out of it and you want to be them in tune, you need some quantizer. And last but not least, our main actor and DC coupled amplifier, VCA. For the more complex patches later we need 2 of them, but for the basic patch you need 1 DC coupled VCA. Otherwise this is not really possible. To get started, set up your voice as you like, as you feel comfortable, doesn't matter how it sounds, and set up your first sequence. Then let's have a short look to our VCA, because it's not that simple as you would route audio to it, where you just make the signal more loud or more quiet. Here the attenuator for the VCA acts as kind of scaling. Listen to the highest notes. The sequence is starting to come through, and as you turn the knob, the lowest notes stay the same, but the highest notes are getting scaled more up. So try and find a place where you feel comfortable. And let's go to the second sequencer. We're still only hearing the first sequence unaffected, and I'm now plugging in the second sequence. As the second sequencer steps through its steps, there's a different scaling every time occurring, and so different melodies occurring. Let's slow down the second sequencer and restart. Now it's a little bit more obvious. I will show you this on the VCA, but because we are sending different CVs on the opening of the VCA, we get different melodies, but the weight of the original sequence, when a high note comes or low, is still active, only the scaling is different. So it's not kind of transposing, but scaling, like sequencing the original sequence. And let's go to an odd number of steps, then you get an ever more evolving pattern, because this sequencer needs 5 steps to step through it and the other one 8, so it takes a lot of time to go back to the original sequence. Let's have again a look on the VCA. So let's take a step back from the original idea proposed and do something simpler. Remove second sequence, and Veils can not only amplify, but it also mixes all the stages together. And here I have in another mix bus the second sequence. So now we're mixing both sequences together. Because the second sequence is much slower, we're basically transposing this first sequence by the amount we adjust with the attenuator. Again, remember, these ones have an effect as well. So, but we are in modular world, why not combine ideas? Take the second sequence again and scale the first one. So what we are now doing is, first we are transposing the first sequence with the second one, and secondly we also scaling, like modulating, sequencing the first sequence with the second one. And this is already really generative, and because we are still on 5 steps on the second sequence, it will take a long time. But why stop here and take our first sequence and scale the second one? And now it gets interesting, because the first sequence is transposed by the second one, or however, which direction you want now, but they are both scaled or modulated individually by their counterpart. And I guess this will take a really long time to go back to the start. And of course, everything you do to the original sequences still has an effect. But not only affecting the sequence itself of its sequencer, but affecting now both in the same way. Let's now turn up the speed of the second sequencer. Now we are getting overlapping loads, because this one is faster like that one. So I have here a gate from this sequencer. Adjusting a bit of the sound. Reducing the speed of the second sequencer. Now this is kind of transposing the second one and of course scaling it. But now you have 8 steps of transposing. Generally this transposes as well, but because it's faster it's not that recognizable. Oh, I detuned my oscillator, cool. But I guess we are finished for today. That's basically the idea behind it. And I hope you enjoy. That's now really terrible here. I play a bit with the tune-up now. But I hope you enjoy this archive purposes and can take this patch further.